One of every three passes Sam attempted was in your direction.
Yeah. I would just say I give credit to a lot of work, and Sam, he's a gunslinger, he's a ball player, and um, I give a lot of credit to Sam. He's making big plays out there, not forcing anything, and when I'm open, we connect.
Yeah. Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis, Patriots corners, are they going to be the toughest match you have seen during the season?
They're going to be a tough matchup for sure. I mean, credit to those guys. You have to be elite, to get here, and they've done a great job all year. So it's going to be a tough matchup.
Seahawks are popular in my country. Any message to
Okay.
your fans in Mexico?
Shout out Mexico. Love the support. And yeah, much love.
Good luck, son.
Thank you. I think they just have a great collective. Um, I think they just play with a lot of energy, run to the ball, um, know their scheme and know their game plan. Yeah, me, I'm really locked in, honestly. You know, staying locked in. I'm just locked in, honestly. It's been fun. I think everything's cool and it's fun to go through this week with your guys, but we came here to win a game. Yeah, no, it's awesome. That's what football is about. And our defense been playing great all year and giving us chances, giving us the ball back. So, it feels good going into the game where you have complete confidence in your whole team to get the job done, especially in your defense. I think the blue. I think the blue looks nice. Can't go wrong with either though. Yep.
Jax, last year you had DK as your sort of tag team partner. Now without him, do you feel like in a way it allowed you to spread your wings now, sort of without him this year, and have more of a, a bigger, more depth in the wide receiver room for you to have the season you did?
I mean, you can say that definitely, but you know, playing football and playing with two elite receivers, like we have now, Cooper Kupp and Rashid, you know, I think it's more about, scheme and getting both guys open, all your guys open. I don't think it has anything to do with one or the other.
And as far as Sam and Gino to Sam, what's the difference in sort of adjustments you had to make from transitioning from Gino to Sam? Is there anything you changed sort of in your game to sort of suit the quarterback?
No, no, I just had to be me and um, really just understand, what Sam likes and, what's he about, what's his thought process and stuff like that. So as far as myself, I kind of stay the same, stay in my lane, and just lock in and catch every ball that's thrown to me. Super fired up. His former teammate Chris Olave called me and gave me the news, and I was super excited knowing, what type of player he is. Very explosive player, something that you know we could use obviously in this offense, and ever since he stepped in, it's just been the trajectory of our team just been going up, and um, he's a winner, he's awesome, and he takes his team to another level. Oh man, it was amazing. Yeah, you want to start fast, and you want to score. You want to score, and it's always cool to sit on the bench and watch the team score, whether that's defense or special teams. So that's always cool. Io, yes sir. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see all around the league. We got a lot of guys in the league, and you know, um, you got a lot when you come in as a young guy. You got a lot to look up to. You got a lot of great leaders in that building that have been at each level. So it's really just easy if you work hard, put your head down, and you get on the field. You have the opportunity to play in the NFL. So um, I just give credit to the development and you know everyone in that building really.
I want to ask another player from Little Rock, Arkansas, hometowner, KJ Hill.
Okay, yeah,
Sitting there
KJ.
ringing the bell.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm going to flip the camera.
Uh huh.
Anything you would like to say to KJ?
Shout out KJ, man. I remember, watching him, as a recruit, and I know how special he is to Ohio State Buckeyes and to the players and the and guys at the Woody. So, you know, um, shout out him for sure. Yeah, I think it kind of clicked pretty fast. Just going out there, catching the rock, conversations. He's a real, great guy. So it was easy to just open up and have that clear communication on how we see ourselves, and then after that, put in the work. And it's been great so far.
Did you see at field days against the Rams quarterback, the Rams secondary this season over 3 games? When they need to draft a quarterback next year, seeing as they're going to have problems with your choice here.
I don't know. I'm sure they'll make the right adjustments.
Did you hear the comments that Tom Brady showed their plane?
Yes. Yeah.
How do you take that in terms of, is that something you've always done? Is it a technique that you work on?
hmm
How much of it is your heart and maybe a combination of just athleticism?
Yeah.
God given, right, Adam? How do you feel?
Yeah. I think that's something I didn't really think about, but when you put it in words, it makes complete sense. You could give you know you can give credit to a lot of things. My body type. How I run. Um, you know. It could go a lot of different ways, but I think for me, just trying to make everything look the same is very important. When selling routes and getting open, and um, so me digging and running, is an advantage for me.
Do you feel like that is something that, like at what age can you start, like, when did you start to notice, I'm getting this reaction from DBs, high school,
Yeah,
college, like,
I would say high school. High school I started trying to make things look the same until they weren't, and just playing that little chess game with the defenders. Um, like I said, just trying to make routes look the same and kind of correlate, the run and the pass game, and just try to make it as difficult as I can on DBs.
Jackson, you guys have been here for about 2 weeks. What have you guys been doing other than practicing in mini events? I just spoke to you this week. He said you guys are playing a lot of Arc Raiders. Are you participating in that?
A lot of what?
Arc Raiders?
Oh nah, I've been chilling. I've been in my room chilling. Hanging with the guys in the middle room. Really just laying low.
What's the biggest challenge for you against this New England defense on Sunday?
Really, I mean, we just have to play our game. Honestly, they are a great defense. They've been playing great all year. Credit to them, but we just have to go in and do what we do. Run the ball, pass the ball, catch the ball, score the ball.
Hi, Jaxon here from Spain. Listen, what do you think is the most natural thing on a receiver? The thing that is difficult to teach? Hands, good running, speed. I don't know, from your opinion, what is the most difficult thing to teach?
I would say like decision making, and not only decision making, but making the right decision to be on the same page with your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like
Maybe the routes that have an option on it, or
yeah, yeah. I mean, those are pretty easy. I mean, when you learn the defense, I think you got to grow and learn the defense and the schemes of the defense on how they want to stop you. So, yeah, like that took some time and some reps, to get it right. But yeah, I would say that.
what's the talk to Kubiak earlier, and he said that it's so easy to work with you. I want you to explain, if you can, sometimes that he came up with some crazy idea you
Mm.
didn't even know that exists, and how to implement that, and his creativity, drawing plays for you. Tell us about the impact in your breakout season.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been great. I think he's given me an opportunity to run a whole different bunch of routes, and I think that's been great for my arsenal. And Um, yeah, I mean, just given that opportunity, I'm just trying to make the most of it, and it's been great. So um, I'm a creative person on the field, so I've been loving this year, honestly.
If there's one moment or game that would define this team this season, what would it be?
I would say just summer. I would say going to Green Bay before the season. The combined practice, with the Green Bay Packers, really just seeing a different opponent for the first time and seeing where you're at, really as an offense and a defense, as a team, really, for the first time against, another competitor, another team. It was a good trip. I think it brought us together. We did some fun activities off the field, and, you know, we were fighting, clawing, scratching with each other against those guys. So I think, that trip definitely brought us together.
Coach Kubiak calls Sam Steady Eddie.
Mhm.
Demeanor, that kind of mesh with what you've seen. How would you describe Sam?
Yeah, I would definitely say the same thing. I mean, just everyday consistency. That's something we preached and something that our best players do. And you know, a lot of us are going to fall in line and do the same thing. It's kind of become our motto.
Jackson, I'm asking this because the games you win in Texas, for you and for like players of your generation or age group, what is the meaning and kind of like the legacy of Colin Kaepernick?
Oh yeah, Colin Kaepernick. I mean, a legend. Um, Definitely respect him and all the things he was able to do on the field and fight for off the field, and have a lot of respect for him. And it takes a lot to stand up for what you believe in. So as long as it's not causing like danger and harm and stuff like that, I can go for it.
Jackson, how would you describe yourself as a receiver? The Patriots guys' biggest word they used was smooth. How would you describe yourself and how you try to go about impacting the team?
um yeah, I would just say, you know, I could get it done from, whatever the coach really asked me to do. I just try to get it done to the best of my ability. And I feel like I'm the best man for the job. So if that's beating your man, I feel like I can do that. If that's zone coverage, I feel like I can do it. Whatever the coach asks for me, I try to, get it done, and I make sure I get it done.
What are some of the ways Jackson think you've grown since that sometime last year when asked about Josh Gerald, he said that some of the better receivers were coming to him and saying, "You just can't play."
Hmm.
Were you one of those guys? What convinced you that Josh is potential starter?
Yeah, I definitely was one of those guys. I mean, he's gotten me better throughout this off season and during the season. He's just a tough competitor. I think his fundamentals are there. I think he's a very sound player. He's a very strong player, and press and very patient. So um, that's very challenging. It could be very challenging for receivers, especially his press man is very good, and he's a ball player. So yeah, just going back and forth with him, in practice and stuff like that, definitely, yeah, he could play.
You had faced him in college, and then I think if I recall, 2 years ago, you guys faced each other very briefly, and got committed athletics, personal athletics.
Who was he playing with? You know?
He was with the Eagles.
Oh, he was.
Barrington, I don't remember that, but you guys.
Okay.
You don't remember that?
I don't remember the Eagles, but I do remember.
Battles in college.
I do remember seeing him in the national championship game, and I was like, "Gosh, this guy is buff. Who's this buff guy at corner lifting all these weights?" And he's had a great college career and having a great NFL career. So super proud of bro.
Darnold said going against your defense in practice every day makes your offense way better. Can you talk about what it's like to go up against matching up Spoon, Woolen, and what you sort of learned from them and how they've helped improve the game and the overall scheme?
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to those guys. This defense is the toughest defense we've seen all year, and just being able to compete with them every single day in the off season and practice has just leveled up our offense, and that's why they're the best in the world, though. And we know we're not going to see a tougher challenge than them. So it's just been great to compete and get better with those guys.
I want to ask you about Christian Gonzalez. What are your impressions of him, and what stands out about him as a corner? And you kind of need to get a sense in the game for what a guy can do as opposed to watching on tape.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He's a smart player. He's a smart player. You know, I, for me, he can do all the things that you want. In a cornerback, and he's been playing at an elite level all year. So it's going to be a great matchup. And what was the second?
Do you have to feel it like in the game?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's a chess match out there. It's a boxing match out there. So, you know, just filling it out and seeing what's happening, and then you bring your counters with that.
As an elite receiver, do you want to dictate to him what you're going to do and how the game is going to be played, or are you kind of gauging how he's going to react in terms of that chess match? Like, do you want to make that first move and try to figure out how he is going to?
Oh yeah, I mean, I play offense. He's played defense. He has to cover me, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, back in training camp, you said Sam Darnold has some shit to him, and we usually see kind of this mild mannered version of him. But what kind of brings that side out of him, and what does that do for the offense?
Yeah, I think just competing, every day. I don't think it takes a lot for that to come out and for him to show that, you know, and I feel like that's what winners do. They bring it every single day, no matter, you know, who it is, if it's our defense, if it's Green Bay, if it's whoever, just having control of the huddle, um, standing firm in the pocket, doing his thing, and just leading us out there.
And his ability to sort of maintain an even keel through ups and downs and adversity, how does that help your offense?
Oh yeah, I think the whole team has just kind of taken that, especially the offense for sure. Just taking that mentality, and we're gonna play by play. We're not gonna get too high, too low. We're just gonna keep the engine rolling, and keep going until we win.
Jaxon, you're asking the players on the team who the best hoopers are. His name's come up a couple times.
They know a little bit of something. Okay.
Would you say that you are the best hooper on the team?
The best. We got to line it up and roll the ball out there. I'm definitely one of the best, if not the best. But Sam Darnold can hoop. Sam Darnold can hoop. He got a good shot. Drew Lock can hoop. A couple of our tight ends. We got a couple ball players, but first to 11. I mean, if we're playing this week, I might let them win so I can get the ball a little bit. But off season, I might, I might take them to the hole for real.
You should set up a 5-on-5 with you and Drake May.
Oh yeah, I heard that he's a good hooper. Yeah, he's a good hooper as well. Yeah, he can hoop. He can hoop. A lot of football guys don't get a lot of credit, for hooping, but we got some hoopers in the league.
Jaxon, you're playing opposite, obviously, a great receiver like Cooper Kupp. How do you guys create opportunities for each other?
Yeah, I mean, when Cooper Kupp aligns, you got to account for him, and when I line up, you got to account for me. So just playing that 2-on-2 game or 2-on-3 game, it just we draw eyes, and when he's pulling the defense, and it springs me open, and likewise. So yeah, just Coach Clint putting us in a great position to play that 2-on-2 matchup.
And then would you rather line up right beside him, or would you rather play opposite on either side of the offensive line?
For me, it doesn't matter, but I do like lining up next to Coop. I do like lining up next to
What's the
him.
best advice he's given you?
Really just process over results.
Is there anything specific about your first interaction with him that stood out to you, or anything that's made you latch on to him as a better player?
Yeah, I think us just meeting for the first time, him and LA Rams just, you know, chopping it up with me, talking about ball. I think it just really started from there, just mutual respect. And I definitely looked up to him and respect him and his game, and what he's been able to do in his career, has been awesome. So for me, you don't have to say too much. I ask a lot of questions, but you don't have to say too much. You just got to sit back and watch him work.
Given that he's one of the few guys that's played in the Super Bowl before on your team, what's his message to the team?
Oh yeah, man, let's go 1-0 this week. Let's make sure, like I said, process over results. Let's make sure we're ready, we're prepared, and our process is right for us to go out there on Sunday and let it loose.
So you look at the depth that you guys have at the wide receiver room, and then you look at the Patriots, the success they've had in the postseason, and the depth that they have with their corners. When you look at the film, what have you seen the past week in terms of the way that they've mixed up their coverages in the postseason and how your depth can attack that?
Yeah, they've been doing an incredible job mixing up looks and um, really causing the offense some trouble. But like I said, we just got to stick to our game, and we got to make sure we're hitting on all cylinders and that we know exactly what we're doing. Our process is good. You know, we just got to make sure we're ready.
You go into a game with a potential, like a guy that might shadow within the game plan. Do you think to yourself, like, yeah, this guy's going to follow me? Does it change a little bit your thought process preparing, right? Like, I might set
hmm
him up, this or that.
hmm
Does that, where does that factor in, and how does it factor in?
Yeah, I think really just playing the game, honestly, because you're gonna get different looks. It's gonna be 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2. The game's got to be played, and with that, the routes that I ran before, the routes that I know are coming up, just it's really like in-game adjustments at that point.
Jackson, I was looking at the odds for who's going to be the MVP on Sunday, and after the quarterbacks, you're the highest on there.
hmm
How much do you think your role is going to be to play and get these seasons playing so online on
In the game, I don't know. For me, I don't really focus on that. I just focus on being there for my team and going out there and doing all I can. And usually, stuff like that either happens or it doesn't. But that doesn't really motivate me too much.
What's the level of confidence both for yourself and for the team at the moment?
It's very high. It's very high. It's very high. We're ready to go. Um, it's only Wednesday, but so we're taking it easy. We're preparing. We're gonna make sure we win today, we win tomorrow. But I can see it in our guys' eyes. We're ready to rock.
And you guys are the favourites, according to a lot of people. Does that help you? Does that you have to
Nah,
ignore that?
nah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anything can happen. You know, on any given day. So, like I said, we just got to make sure we're locked in and we're playing play by play as hard as possible. Yes, sir. Thank you.